Hi everyone, it's Chris Tuck here from survivorsofabuse.org.uk and westwickhamfitness.com. Now, I've just jumped on to do this live and I was in two minds whether to do it or not. And it is about cervical screening. So if you don't want to hear about the ins and outs of what ladies have to get up to, then please feel free to leave. And I'm doing this live to bring awareness from a survivors of abuse perspective as well, and particularly obviously my own perspective because I can't speak for anybody else. However, the dreaded letter turned up. It's been 3 years since you've last been tested, and I'm like, ugh, really? It only seemed like yesterday. These kind of internals now really trigger me, and if I can get out of having it done, then I will. That's me on a subconscious level. Don't want to do it. However, from a health and wellness perspective, I know that it's extremely important for me to have this cervical screening. So 3 years ago when I had it last done, and as I said, it just seemed like yesterday, I went to my GP and I said I thought I'd be open and honest and I would express my needs. So I said to them, is there any way that when I have this, when I have the smear, because that's what it's known as, have it done, is it possible to have someone to basically hold my hand, comfort me, make me feel at ease, make me feel less triggered? And their response was, yeah, that's fine, but they didn't really understand. So I had to spell out to them exactly what I thought I needed. While someone was down the other end doing the business, I just needed to be distracted. I needed to be made to feel at ease, if that's possible. I just needed to be reassured. And they went, yeah, no problem. So on the day, well, before building up to that, you get anxiety, you get all of these triggers and the emotions go up and down. Use all my grounding techniques. I use my smellies, my lavender, etc., etc. A lot of things that you guys might do as well. And even if you're not a survivor of child sexual abuse or sexual violence as an adolescent adult, you might still find smears triggering. So what I was able to put into place for myself was having that understanding from the people, i.e. the nurse, and what do they call them? What did she call that lady this morning? A chaperone. Was to make them aware of my needs and what they could do to help me. And a lot of survivors find it very difficult to speak up about what they do need, because sometimes you just don't know what you need, but other times it's really important that you do express your needs. So went into the room. You know, if you've been for a smear test before, you know you have to take your bottom clothing off and you have to get onto the bed and you have to be in a position where they can perform the, I can't even speak about this, where they can perform the smear. And 3 years ago, I was triggered. I did end up in tears, but the fact that there was someone down the business end doing what they were doing and they were expressing to me exactly what they were doing and was I okay? Could they go ahead? That empowered me. It made me feel like I was in the driving seat, even though I wasn't. It made me feel like they were being respectful. They were understanding of how I was feeling. And also the person up the head end holding my hand could see the trauma that I was going through whilst the procedure was taking place. And she was able to comfort me, speak to me, make sure that I was okay. So even though it was not a nice experience, because it never is, it was an experience that was positive for me. I came away feeling not violated. I felt like it was the best experience it could be for me at that time, even though I ended up in tears and yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay. So, get the dreaded letter, and I just thought, oh, really? It's 3 years past? Unfortunately, yes. When I was down the GP last Friday, because I've got an ear infection from holiday, from swimming, and I've got antibiotics for that, I said, really? And she went, yeah, if you get the letter, you are due. And so I thought, you know what, bite the bullet, book it in. So last Friday, I booked it in, and I was able to get it for today. I unfortunately had to explain to the receptionist that I needed a chaperone, and the reason why I needed a chaperone. And thankfully, the GP was empty, so I was able to express that. If the GPs were full, as they usually are, I would have found that very, very intimidating, and I would have had to ask for a private conversation. So I wasn't airing me and my challenges in a public domain. So just be aware that you can have these private conversations with people. You don't need to tell all and sundry about what is going on for you. So anyway, again, very, very nice people, understood. Actually, they didn't understand straight away, but they were caring, and it got through. So today, I was meant to have it at 3:30. I distracted myself. It doesn't matter how much you try not to worry. It's subconscious. It just really gets to you. You know that you're going to be feeling vulnerable for a period of time. You know that other people are invading your body, even if it's for a non-abusive procedure. You know it's for your own health and well-being, but it still brings back all of this stuff. So anyway, went off to lunch, distracted myself, and I literally walked in the door at 12:30, and the phone call happened, and it was like, oh, is it possible you could come earlier? And I'm like, oh my God, I've got myself into thinking it's at 3:30, and I was going to do my grounding and all the rest of it. And I thought, you know what, then this means if I just do it quicker, then I won't be worrying about it so much. So I just went, yeah, just let me freshen up and I'll be down in 10-15 minutes. And she went, perfect. And I went, and by the way, I'm not wearing masks because I'm anxious, it triggers me. And she went, not a problem, come round the side entrance, blah, 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 blah. So that's great. So I went round the side entrance and I went into the room, and I thought, right, I'm going to need to explain, before I even get on that bed and make myself vulnerable, I need to explain exactly what it is I need again. But the nurse, she said, oh, I did your last one. Do you remember me? And I went, I'm really sorry, but I don't remember you. It was 3 years ago. And I don't tend to go to my GPs an awful lot, to be honest. And she said, I've read your notes. I know how you felt last time. I remember last time. And she said, so don't worry. And the chaperone is the healthcare assistant, and her name is, and here she is. Do you know her? And I went, no, I don't. And she goes to me, what do you need? And I said, literally someone to take my mind off it. I said, and then the nurse that was doing the procedure, she said to me, do you want me to talk you through like last time, or do you just want me to get on with it? And I went, you know what, because you know me, even though I don't remember you, you know me, you know what happened last time. It was really weird, but I felt like there was that bit of trust there. It was almost like she had already put me at ease because she'd read my notes and she remembered. So I thought, could you just get on with it? Could you just get on with it? And I'm laughing now, guys, but it can be really horrific. to have someone invade your privacy when you've gone through stuff. But I was just like laughing and joking, and but I was like, can we get on with this? Anyway, and the healthcare assistant, she said, what do you want me to do? I said, could you just please come and look me in the eye, speak to me, keep me in the moment, and just talk about whatever it is that you feel like we can talk about. And she went, yeah, no worries. So I got on the bed, got undressed, got on the bed, got into the position they needed me to be in. And the healthcare assistant was talking to me about health and fitness, going online, and all of that business. So we were having a real sort of like current conversation whilst the nurse just went and got on with it. And basically, obviously, I'm not going to go into detail. Those of you who have had a smear, you know exactly what it's like. It was bim bam bosh done, and it was literally 5 seconds. Honestly, it was so quick. This woman knew what she was doing, and obviously there was a bit of pain, there was a bit of coldness, there was a bit of whilst she was doing whatever she was doing, but the lady, the healthcare assistant, was keeping me grounded, kept me in the conversation. So it was really good from that aspect. And I wasn't triggered. I didn't burst into tears like I did 3 years ago. I didn't feel violated. I just felt, thank God that's over. And the nurse said, look, all done. Get yourself sorted, and are you okay? And I'm like, yep, thank you. And I don't know whether it was adrenaline or what, but I got off the bed, got my clothes on, and then was just like laughing and just like joking around, and just said, thank God that's done for another 3 years. Thank you for making it so quick, pain-free and easy. And she goes, oh, you can go out the same way you came in. So I literally got my stuff and ran out of the room and went out into the fresh air and just went, but it was done. It got done. So my message really is, if you are triggered and you do have this letter turn up and it needs to be done, express your needs, because so many professionals do not understand trauma. They do not understand being triggered, and they don't understand your needs. But if you tell them, they are quite willing to adapt, and they're quite willing to give you what it is you need. So don't be afraid to express that. Please, please do not put off your medical needs or your, the duty-bound stuff that you have to do, the cervical screenings, the mammograms. That's the next one that I've got to do because I've just turned 50. I had my letter, but my appointment was cancelled because of COVID. So I have yet to experience that, and it might be a whole different ball game. However, I'm just going to go by the premise of what I've done with the cervical screening, and I'm hoping that that will be a positive experience as well. So don't let how you're feeling, how you're triggered, put off these medical interventions, screenings that you might need. That's all I'm saying to you. Think about your needs. Think about how you get triggered. Think about what they can do to help you have these medical interventions. All right, guys, let me just read your comments quickly. Thank you all for joining me. So all of those that are watching, I'm not going to read out your names just in case you don't want me to. But one of the messages is mammograms are a struggle. Again, I've never had one, so I don't know. But I'm hoping that I can have a positive experience if I can express my needs to whoever's doing the mammogram. Thank you for saying well done. Yeah, lovely. Mine's next February. I force myself to go on the basis that my abusers don't have the right to control my healthcare. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I just want to express that I want to get over that. If you express your needs, then hopefully whoever's doing your procedure for you, with you, can actually adapt what they're doing to meet your needs. So yeah, don't be frightened to say what it is you need. And if you're not quite sure, have the conversation even before your appointment. Don't get yourself in a vulnerable position and then get triggered and panic. Please don't do that to yourself. Have a conversation way before that smear even takes place, that cervical screening even takes place. Have the conversation when you feel empowered, when you're fully clothed, you feel empowered, and you can walk away with the answers to your questions. Yeah, that's all I'm saying to you guys. Because I think if you can address what it is you need, and you can have a conversation about that, and you can get that care put in place before the appointment should go, should be more of a positive experience. Bit of quandary that. Cervical screenings are never a positive experience. However, getting that negative result, hopefully, at the end is a positive experience. All right, so that's all I wanted to say today, really. Didn't know whether I was going to come on and do it because it is very personal, it is very private, but just don't be scared to express your needs in any way, shape or form for whatever it is you need help with in your health and your wellness. All right, guys, love to you all. Thank you for listening and joining me. Bye for now.